The screen was a storm of light and motion, another chaotic victory flashing in the corner. Evan Echo Hayes leaned back in his gaming chair, the familiar ache settling into his shoulders. His apartment, usually a sanctuary of controlled chaos, felt different tonight. The city's skyline glittered through the floor-to-ceiling windows, a silent, distant audience to his digital conquests. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you secure the objective, he announced to his stream, a grin in his voice. No thanks to my so-called support. Marcus, if you were any more absent, I'd have to report you missing. A new notification pinged softly, a donation with a message. Echo, is your roommate okay? He looks tense. Evan's gaze flicked to the edge of the frame. There, just in the periphery, was Leo. Leo, who insisted on wearing a black face mask even indoors, claiming the city air was a pollutant. Leo, who was currently staring at a bowl of organic ramen Evan had ordered for him with the profound disappointment of a food critic presented with fast food. The roommate is fine, Evan said, turning his full attention back to the camera, his tone shifting into something warmer, more private. He's just being a little diva about dinner. Isn't that right, Leo? Leo didn't look up from his bowl. He simply pushed it an inch away with one precise finger. Evan chuckled, a low, affectionate sound. See? Total diva. He wants the artisanal stuff from that place in Soho. My wallet weeps. He spun in his chair. Come on, just one bite. For me? I'll do the dishes for a week. A sigh, barely audible over the hum of the PC fans. Leo picked up his chopsticks, selected a single, perfect strand of noodle, and placed it in his mouth. He gave a microscopic, resigned nod. The chat exploded. He did it. Echo's magic touch. When's the wedding? Evan beamed, as if he'd just won another championship. This had become the real game, the one he played off-stream. Managing the quiet, meticulous hurricane that was Leo Vance. They were opposites in every conceivable way. Evan was loud, messy, lived in sweatpants and the glow of multiple monitors. Leo was silence and order, sweaters and hardcover books, a walking monument to fastidious taste. Their mutual friend, Sam, who lived in the unit downstairs, often acted as a baffled interpreter. Leo, Evan picked up that vegan lemon bar you like from the bakery, he'd say, holding out a slightly crumpled bag. Evan would hover, trying to look nonchalant. Leo would examine the offering, his expression unreadable. He didn't care for sweets that had been jostled in a backpack on the subway. Evan would then snatch the bag back, devour the bar in 2 bites, muttering about ingratitude. Yet the next day, a pristine, boxed version of the same lemon bar would appear on Leo's meticulously organized desk. The fragile détente shattered the night Evan's liquid cooling system failed. Faced with a silent, dead rig hours before a scheduled stream, panic set in. His eyes landed on Leo's sleek, silver laptop, a machine that looked like it belonged on a starship bridge. Leo, buddy, pal. Evan approached, hands clasped in theatrical supplication. A disaster has struck. I need your tech. Just for tonight. Leo was curled in the window nook, wireless headphones on, utterly absorbed in something on his tablet. He didn't even glance up. No, he stated. His devices were extensions of his personal space, sacrosanct. Evan sidled closer, peering over his shoulder. On the screen, 2 men in sharp suits were having a tense conversation in a rain-slicked alley, the tension between them palpable and charged. Leo startled, slamming the tablet face down. Evan's eyebrows shot up. A slow, understanding grin spread across his face. Getting some cultural enrichment, are we? Leo stiffened, bracing for a crude joke, for the uncomfortable shift in atmosphere he'd endured before. Evan just clapped him on the shoulder. Hey, no judgment. Art's art, right? Though watching alone seems a little lonely. Maybe next time you could educate me. He waggled his eyebrows. So, about that laptop? I'll be careful. Promise. Grudgingly, Leo relented. That night, Evan streamed from Leo's machine, and Leo's world tilted. He became a background character in Evan's show. First, it was just his voice. A cool, "Could you keep it down?" from off-camera. Then, snippets of his critique of Evan's messy side of the loft. Later, it was Evan boasting about how Leo had debugged his code for a class, or how he'd made this incredible spicy maple glazed salmon. The stream's audience evolved. "Who is this mysterious roommate?" became Echo's "totally smitten. Just look at him." Sam would read the comments aloud, cackling. "Evan, you're not streaming a game, you're streaming a courtship ritual." One evening, Evan pulled Leo into frame as he tried a new kombucha flavor. "Here, taste this, see if it's as pretentious as it looks." He held the bottle to Leo's masked lips. Leo took a sip, gave a curt nod. The chat went into meltdown over the casual intimacy. Evan, reading the scrolling chaos, declared with audacious cheer, "Everyone, this is Leo. My roommate. My future problem." Leo nearly choked. It spawned a universe of its own. Fan set to indie love songs. Analyses of their chemistry. Short stories written about them. Sam delighted in reading the most outrageous ones. Listen to this. Evan, overcome by passion during a heated Mario Kart race, pinned Leo against the fridge. Amateurish, Leo would cut in, not looking up from his book. The plots were predictable, the emotions garish. Evan, however, was fascinated. He'd bookmark the stories, his ears turning pink as he skimmed them. "Leo, this one says we shared a milkshake with 2 straws in a diner. That's not even plausible. You'd demand separate glasses." Obviously, Leo would reply. "But this one," Evan would persist, lowering his voice, "where I get nervous before a big tournament and you calm me down. That's not terrible." "It's fiction," Leo stated, a finality in his tone. Then came the afternoon Leo woke from a nap, disoriented and thirsty. Evan was locked in a final, brutal match, his entire being focused on the screen. The low light cut the sharp line of his jaw, his long lashes casting shadows. Leo watched him, the memory of a particularly vivid line from a story floating in his sleep-fogged mind. In the quiet, he was Evan's only anchor. Before thought could intervene, Leo moved. He stepped behind the chair, peeled down his mask, and pressed his lips lightly, fleetingly, to Evan's heated cheek. The world stopped. Evan froze, his hands hovering over the keyboard. A brilliant, violent red flooded from his neck to his hairline. On screen, his character was obliterated. Unseen, the chat became a frantic, screaming wall of text. Did that just happen? He kissed him. Echo, do something. Leo calmly replaced his mask. He picked up his glass of water from the desk. Battery low, he said, his voice perfectly even. Needed a charge. The stream died, the platform's automated system killing it for unspecified violations. For a full 30 seconds, the only sound was the hum of the computers. Evan slowly turned, his expression one of shell-shocked awe. Leo, what was? I was thirsty, Leo said, taking a sip. You were in the way. My mistake. Sam chose that moment to barge in. Why's your stream dead? Did you finally blow a gasket? Evan shot up, stammering about technical difficulties before fleeing to the building's rooftop. When he returned later, he went straight to Sam, who was gaming. In a hushed, tortured whisper, Evan asked, hypothetically, if one guy kisses another guy on the cheek and says it's for charging, what's the protocol? Sam ripped off his headset. Protocol? That's either a declaration of war or a confession. Take your pick. Evan's eyes darted to Leo, who was quietly annotating a text. My friend, Evan stressed, was just used as a human battery pack. By his roommate. Leo turned a page. Perhaps your friend should invest in a more conventional charger. Or a less confusing roommate. Evan sputtered, turned a remarkable shade of purple, and disappeared again. The next morning, a takeout bag from the expensive bodega appeared on Leo's desk. Avocado toast, a green smoothie, a still-warm croissant. Evan was a lump under his duvet. Sam mouthed, "He's so gone." Leo ate the croissant. It was perfect. For days, Evan was a shadow. He'd linger near the bookshelves while Leo studied, accompany him to refill their water filter, a silent, nervous sentinel. Finally, Leo cornered him by the industrial elevator doors in their building's hallway. "Evan, what is this new performance art? Stalking my roommate 101? Evan, backed against the cold steel, looked genuinely tormented. "I need data. That kiss. Was it a brand thing? Do I have a generic, kissable face?" Leo stared at him. "It was a mistake. I thought you were my favorite cushion." Evan's face fell. "Cushion. A very square, dog-printed cushion from my childhood." The devastation was complete. Evan looked utterly deflated. As he stared at the floor, Leo reached out and ran his fingers through the messy, soft hair at Evan's temple. The texture, Leo murmured, is superior, however. Evan stopped breathing. The game, Leo realized, was exquisite. Watching this vibrant, confident person unravel because of him. It was a power more intoxicating than any fictional plot. When Evan's stream returned, he was trying too hard to be normal. The chat was relentless, demanding answers about the incident. Leo chose that moment to deliver a mug of herbal tea. He bent, his lips close to Evan's ear, his voice a whisper meant only for him. "Drink this. If your K/D ratio drops again, you're on the couch tonight." The microphone caught every word. Pandemonium. Evan sat, utterly paralyzed, a statue of embarrassment. Leo returned to his nook, a faint smile behind his book. Later, Evan, defeated, accused him. "You sabotaged me. Perhaps. You can't banish me. This is my apartment too." Leo beckoned him over. Evan came, wary. Leo removed his headset and carted his hands through Evan's hair again, feeling him tremble. "Play well next time," he said softly. "Win and I'll recharge you properly." Evan's subsequent gaming was a thing of terrifying, focused beauty. He became a force of nature, all for the promise of that whispered word. Recharge. The equilibrium was disrupted by Michael, the president of the university's philosophy club. He was all polished manners and intelligent smiles. They met at the library, discussing a complex text, and shared a coffee. A blurry photo of them deep in conversation found its way online, sparking rumors. Evan saw it. He emerged from the shower, a towel around his waist, water dripping onto his phone screen. "You had coffee with Michael Price?" "We discussed Derrida. He was sitting very close for deconstruction." Evan muttered, his jaw tight. He stormed to his closet, dug out an old, faded university hoodie, and threw it at Leo. Then he pulled on an identical one. It clung to his damp skin. "What is this?" Leo asked flatly. "Fan service," Evan declared, as if it were obvious. "Our audience expects cohesion." That night's stream featured them in the matching hoodies, Evan's arm slung around a stiff Leo. The chat ate it up, declaring the Michael rumor debunked. Evan looked triumphantly at Leo, who simply gazed back, giving nothing away. He didn't mention that the initial, tantalizing forum post about him and Michael had come from an anonymous account he himself had created. The illness was not part of any plan. A vicious flu left Leo weak and shaking on the bathroom floor at dawn. It was Evan who found him, who carried him to the car, who stayed in the stark hospital room for 2 days, a constant, worried presence. Through a feverish haze, Leo felt a rough, warm hand on his forehead, heard a voice strained with fear. When he woke properly, Evan was asleep, forehead pressed against the bed rail, fingers loosely curled around Leo's wrist. The sight did something strange to Leo's chest. He reached out, his thumb brushing the furrow between Evan's brows. Evan woke with a jolt. His eyes found Leo's, relief flooding them. Then he looked down at their hands. Slowly, deliberately, he turned Leo's palm up and pressed his lips to the center. A kiss that was more vow than gesture. "Don't get sick again," Evan mumbled, his voice raw. It's worse than losing. It's like losing everything. Leo pulled his hand back, the skin tingling. Sentimentality doesn't suit you. But the air had changed. The looks lingered. The care became quieter, more ingrained. The campus esports finals were a spectacle. Evan's team was on the brink, their defeat seeming inevitable. The energy in the arena was funereal. Then, in a move of sheer, reckless genius, Evan flanked the entire enemy team, striking from the shadows. The announcer screamed, "Pentakill!" The crowd erupted. Evan didn't look at the screaming fans or his celebrating teammates. He shoved through the crowd, the championship trophy under his arm, and stopped directly before Leo. He was breathless, glowing with adrenaline. "I won. I observed. Where's my reward?" The arena was watching. Cameras were likely pointed their way. Leo felt 1,000 eyes on him. He held Evan's burning gaze for a long moment. Then he hooked a finger in the collar of Evan's team jersey, pulling him down, and kissed him, firmly, on the mouth. He leaned back, fully charged. Evan stood motionless, the trophy almost slipping from his grip. Then a shuddering breath racked him, and he dropped the trophy to wrap Leo in a crushing embrace. His face buried in Leo's neck, his shoulders shaking. Leo allowed it, his own arms coming up to rest lightly on Evan's back. That night, Evan's stream was just a camera feed. The title read, "Off Duty. The diva is officially the boss." Evan, looking happier and more relaxed than any of his fans had ever seen him, kept one arm around Leo, who was reading in his periphery. The chat was an endless river of celebration. "So," Evan said, grinning at the camera, "guess the fanfiction writers were right about the ending, huh? Took me a while to catch up to the script." Leo didn't look up from his book, but the corner of his mouth, visible just above his page, curled into a small, private, and utterly satisfied smile.